Alright, hello everybody. Welcome to another Monster Hunter video. I'm Ristretto, and really quickly before we get into things, I just want to say this is going to be some footage from Monster Hunter Wilds Open Beta Test 2. We're going to be hunting a Gypceros with Insect Wave, so if you're looking to avoid footage or details about that stuff, then it might be a good video to skip, but I hope to see you another time. It's been a little while since I recorded a Monster Hunter video. I've had some weeks where I was just kind of feeling tired, a little under the weather. I've been trying to beat Red Helm Arzuros in Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate and record a nice clear of that. I did actually clear him a couple times, but now when I try and record him, he's just kicking my butt over and over. So I'm going to keep trying at that NGU, but that's why I haven't gotten a video out, is I've been kind of stuck on Red Helm. But in any case, I do have a little story to share about Monster Hunter Wilds and myself and my plans for playing the game, and so I wanted to get to talk over some gameplay footage today and share that with y'all. So it's going to be kind of a personal video. If that sounds like something you're here for, then stick around. The gameplay is going to be kind of in the background, but I might comment on a few things as they happen in real time. This was recorded in the first weekend of the Open Beta Test 2. So to start off my story that I want to share with you guys today, I want to start by saying I was feeling a little anxious about Wild's release for a couple reasons. Primarily just, I really care about Monster Hunter. I really love Monster Hunter. I've been playing it for, I guess, like almost 10 years now, right around 10 years. And I've played a lot of the different games and sunk a lot of hours into it and had a lot of fun sharing it online. And so I care about it a lot. It's a great series of games. And as I've played through that series, I've enjoyed some things from the newer games and enjoyed some different things from the older games. And I think in terms of the combat, especially, which is one of the reasons I really like playing Monster Hunter, is the combat. There are a lot of things in the older games I sort of have come to prefer. You might notice that when I play GU, I tend to do things sort of old school or avoid using certain crazy flashy options. That's just kind of how I enjoy Monster Hunter. And so between the trailers and the footage we'd seen of this game pre-release and the little bit I had played in the first beta, I was just kind of feeling anxious about it. I was feeling anxious about some of the ways they've designed and added onto the weapons' movesets in a way that I think might make those weapons overpowered, or it might make one move that weapon does the only thing you'll ever do in combat, or that's reductive, but that's what my brain, my little anxious meat organ, you can refer to it like that, that's what my brain was telling me. And so I was feeling kind of angsty about that, and I was kind of feeling angsty about some of the fight designs I'd seen in the first beta test. I fought all the monsters in the first beta test, and I thought their fight designs were okay, but some of their moves weren't something I thought were all that good. I don't know, all that fun to fight against. I had a hard time against Doshiguma. Might just be bad, but I don't know. It had me feeling anxious because I really wanted to enjoy this game, but I could feel myself going I don't know if this is for me. I don't know if this is going to be something I'm really going to like. But I did really want to have a good time checking it out and playing the game, so I was just kind of feeling anxious. And it didn't really help that between the first beta test and the benchmark tool that they recently put out, the game just ran like absolute butt on my PC. I have a gaming laptop from a couple years ago that runs things like Monster Hunter World and Monster Hunter Rise and Elden Ring just fine, but you put this game on it and it just kind of chokes. It's just not doing super well. So I was just feeling kind of, I don't know, unsure about how much I would enjoy playing the game and how I would go about playing the game. So I played a little bit of, or I guess I was running the benchmark. I can't remember if I played any of Open Beta Test 2 on it. I guess, yeah, I booted up Open Beta Test 2 on the PC, and I played one or two hunts and went, yeah, I don't know about this. I don't know if I'm going to enjoy this. Was kind of sitting there for an evening doing benchmarking and checking out the beta, and the beta is supposed to be an older build of the game anyways. The developers have said as such. So it's it was running even worse than the benchmark was. And I just found it frustrating. I was just kind of bummed. And so I was like, well, what do I have to lose? I might as well just look at all the data mines and leaks. And I've never done that before. I usually kind of avoid Monster Hunter spoilers. The most important spoilers for me are how to actually hunt or fight the monster, but I also don't usually look for story spoilers or anything like that. But in this case, I was like, I don't know, what do I have to lose? And so I went and I read just all the data mines, all the leaks. And I'm not going to talk about them in this video because I don't want to spoil anybody. And if you're curious about those, there's a subreddit for it that I'm sure you can find if you do some internet searching. But what I saw in the leaks made me feel a little more excited about the game. Just kind of interested to see some of the ideas there and how they would actually flesh them out in the full game. So having seen those leaks, I was feeling a little reinvigorated, a little bit wow, some of these are pretty unique ideas, or ideas that people have hoped they would explore in the series, and here they are exploring them. So it should be cool to see those in the full game. And at that point, I was like, well, I can't just sit here and play this on a PC that barely runs the game. I'm gonna be like raging and raving about the PC the whole time. I don't really like Windows that much, and while PC gaming has a lot of like advantages, it also has some disadvantages too, like having to troubleshoot things all the time, and I was gonna be so frustrated with it. So I went out this past weekend and I got myself an open box used PS5. I think it's a slim digital edition, so it's, I don't know, not super fancy, but I just wanted something that would play the game and play it smoother than it was on my PC, and well, that's what you're watching here. You're watching some footage of Open Beta Test 2 running on the PlayStation 5's performance mode. So I think this basically targets somewhere around 1080p in terms of resolution, and then upscales it to probably around 1440p or 4K, something like that. Pairs back to the settings a little bit, but plays pretty smoothly. Yeah, plays pretty smoothly. I did get my PS5 right when the PlayStation Network was down during the first weekend of the beta test. So that kind of sucked. I brought it home from the store and I plugged it in and I was like, all right, here we go. I'm going to try it out. And I just couldn't log into my PlayStation, couldn't download the beta, couldn't do anything for like a whole day, which was a little excruciating, but also it's whatever. It's just the game. Compared to how the PC was running, this is just really smooth and I won't have to worry about it. Like I opened up the graphics settings menu on the PlayStation 5 and there's one option and I gasped. I was like, oh my God, you're telling me I don't have to troubleshoot through like 15 different options to figure out how to make the game run smoothly? That's amazing. So I'm very pleased. I feel really grateful and blessed and I guess privileged that I was able to go out and just get a machine that had the graphical horsepower to run the game a little better at launch. So I'm very, very grateful about it. I guess just for some thoughts on this hunt, where we're hunting Gypceros here. I think he's pretty fun. They've kept a lot of his character. He's kind of like a jerk or a little annoying, kind of goofy, and they've kept a lot of that character in this fight design, where he can still obviously flash you with his light crystal. He can shoot poison at you, and they've expanded his tail attacks in a pretty fun way. All of those things they've given kind of extra options to, where when he's running around, he's not just spewing poison at random, he's actually running around and kind of shooting at you like a little turret. Just gunning you down with the poison. And he has a couple different variations on his flash attack, one of which is a little bit closer range, so it's easier to get away from it. And the other one is kind of the traditional sort of large area of effect. You can roll it like you could in the old games. I did test it. I think I get it maybe once in this footage, or maybe it was a different footage. I had to record this hunt a couple times because it actually like crashed at the end of the hunt. Every time I like tried to save the hunt, like, yes, I beat the Gypceros, go back to camp, it would just crash the beta, which is a little weird, but it's okay. It meant I got to hunt Gypceros. I think I did it 2 or 3 times. Yeah, he doesn't feel super challenging, but he feels like they've updated him pretty nicely for 6th gen. Everything he does feels faster, which is in keeping with fast fluid weapons like they've put in this game, and so it's pretty fun. It feels like if you overcommit when he's doing his poison attacks or his flash attacks, then he can punish you a little bit for being greedy. And then one thing I actually did like quite a bit, which we'll see a little further into the hunt here, is there's like a whole pack dynamic, which this is the first time I've really hunted monsters in a pack in Wilds. You could have done that in Beta 1, but I didn't do that. Yeah, here we go. Here's a couple Gypceros. I only have large dung pods with me for whatever reason. Like, I bet you can make small dung pods and find them on the map. I just didn't have them on my hunter, and so like every time I would dung bomb one of the other Gypceros, it would dung bomb our target Gypceros as well. And so a couple times our target ends up repositioning to the same areas that the others go to, and so I have to fight a couple of them at once. You'll see that coming up here in a little bit. And honestly, I think I've always kind of enjoyed multi-monster pack hunts, or I guess multi-monster hunts is the way I would say it in the older games, where if you have like a Rathian and a Rathalos in the same area, it's a very unique and different challenge compared to the usual one-on-one or like one hunter and a Palico versus one monster. It's a very different dynamic in terms of when you're actually safe to commit to healing. You have to be way more patient and a little more careful, and there's certain armor skills or item play you can do to make it a little easier on yourself. But in this game, because you're so much faster and more fluid, it does feel like it caters to that a little better, where you have a little bit better tools to keep up with 2 different monsters worth of attacks and movement coming your way. I do still get a little bit bullied here by the second Gypceros, but that's okay. All part of the fun, I suppose. I'm excited to see, I'm excited to see what other pack hunts in the full game end up looking like Yen Kutku. They've already shown in some of the footage. There's gonna be multiple of those guys around, and so I'm excited to see what Kutku will feel like to hunt multiple of at once. Speaking of the full game, I just want to share a little bit about my plans for playing through it. And I guess I'll be looking to primarily play through Wilds probably offline, like not recording every hunt, not streaming the whole thing, just kind of playing it offline. It's been a long time since I've done that for a new Monster Hunter game. The last time I did that was Monster Hunter World, like the base game, because after that I streamed Iceborne, I streamed Rise, I streamed Sunbreak. And there's kind of like a lot. There's kind of a lot that goes on when a new Monster Hunter game comes out. There's like the exciting stuff of seeing all the new details and running into new monsters and seeing how they've put the progression and the story together. But then also, like, everybody's kind of worked up, like whether it's like, oh, I don't have access to it yet, you're a streamer, why do you have it early? Or like, oh, I know spoilers and you don't, or like, I got this new mechanic and I don't like it, or I like this new mechanic a lot. There's just a lot of opinions, and everyone's just a little bit pent up, so excited. There's so much happening, and it can be a little bit much to like venture out into if you're recording a video or streaming during it. It can be, I don't know, it can be a lot. There's a lot of people who feel differently about the game one way or another, and so I'm gonna look forward to just playing this game off stream, off recording, just for me, and see what I think of it. I think that's probably gonna give me the best chance of finding what it is in this latest generation of Monster Hunter that I personally find fun. Because I'll just be able to kind of focus on that and not recording a video every other day, or dealing with a bunch of people in a stream chat talking about this mechanic they hate or that mechanic they hate, which isn't all stream chats, and I'm blessed with a pretty nice stream chat when I stream, but it just happens on occasion, and you know what? I'm looking forward to a playthrough without that, or at least part of a playthrough without that, if that makes sense. I do plan on, like, once I find something that's cozy and fun for me, like, to do in the game, whether it's hunting a single monster or, like, going out and doing an expedition, or I don't know what else. When I find something like that, that's when I'll probably start to share my thoughts on the game and share some videos about it. I'll record some cozy gameplay with commentary for y'all, and basically the vibe that I've been going for with the GU videos, I'm just going to try and carry that forward into Wilds. Even though the game's a little different, I'm still going to try and enjoy it pretty similarly, if that makes sense. I might try streaming it just a little bit. The other night, after getting this PS5, I did a test stream of the Demon's Souls remake, because that's another game on PS5, so once the beta was down, I still was able to play that game and test it, and it was fun. I'll probably actually stream a little bit of Demon's Souls remake on Twitch as well, and so, I don't know, I don't have a set schedule for that, but just every couple weeks I'll probably try and stream like one or two nights a month or something like that, just to, I don't know, like, when you stream every day, it can be a lot, and there's, like, upsides and downsides to streaming, you know? Upsides and downsides to the internet as a whole. But once or twice a month, I feel like it would be really fun to get to check in and enjoy things as a community of people. So I'll be doing that on Twitch on occasion. I'll put a link to my Twitch channel in this video's description, as well as a link to our Discord, which is where I, like, ping before I go live on stream. Yeah. So that should be fun, and that's kind of my general plan for playing this game at launches. I'll play through it at my own speed and upload things when I find good things to upload, rather than trying to force it. Aside from that, I did want to say just, I hope that all of you really enjoy this new generation as it starts. This is something that only happens every like 5 or so years, every couple years. We get a brand new generation of Monster Hunter, and at the outset, when you've only seen trailers or a little bit of gameplay footage or a little bit of beta footage, it can be pretty tempting to just kind of compare it to the last game in little ways, like, oh, they took out this mechanic and they put in this new one, and like, that's part of it, but Monster Hunter games as a whole really do feel different when taken holistically. Like, you can definitely say that like 4th generation feels pretty different to 3rd generation. 5th generation feels pretty different than 4th generation, although that's a pretty obvious one. And I think that it's kind of easier to enjoy and have a good time with it if you sort of take that holistically, rather than starting the game and immediately trying to compare, like, okay, what's the early game balance like compared to the early game balance of the last game I played, and like, what about this particular weapon? How are its moves balanced? And is there a strong option for the playstyle that I specifically like? I mean, like, I can understand focusing in on those sorts of things, but I would encourage you guys to just kind of like lean back, take it in as a whole. Like, there's going to be time to kind of analyze what you do and don't like for yourself, if that's something you like doing. There's going to be time for that, but I think especially at the outset of a new generation, when everything's fresh, it's just kind of fun to take it all in. lean back, enjoy the show, if that makes sense. So I wish all good fun for all of you with that. In the meantime, I am going to still try and record some Generations Ultimate videos in the next couple weeks before Wilds comes out. If I can get a clear on Red Helm, great. If I can get a clear on Snow Bear and Lagombi, great. If not, then maybe I'll just find something else cozy to record in that game, or I'll just start high rank. I don't have a definitive plan on like if I'm going to keep recording GU all the time once Wilds is out, or some of the time. I'll figure it out as I go, and I don't know. We'll still continue to put out cozy hunts here. That is the main objective. The main objective, I should say. That's pretty much all the things I had to talk about ahead of time. So, I guess I'll just kind of freestyle from here on out. I think Gypceros is about to do Fake Dead here for the first time, which I was happy to see. You can still get extra carves if you carve him early. A lot of people will tell you to like just avoid him and like sharpen or heal during this, but you can get free carves. Get some extra carves for you. These don't take away from the carves you get at the end of the hunt, so... Especially here where you can get those carves and then run away safely. Almo, look out! Make sure you get those if you've got enough HP. I guess I have been doing a lot of Insect Glaving, and I feel pretty comfortable with Insect Glaive so far in this game. It doesn't feel too bad to me. Some people don't like the new control scheme, and I have thoughts on that, but I'll probably share my thoughts on Insect Glaive and the rest of the combat design stuff once I've actually played a little more of the game, but suffice to say, I'm still enjoying it so far. Still enjoying it. Was able to set up gyro aiming for the Kinsect and the focus attacks, which feels really good. I love gyro aiming on controller, where you get to still control the camera with the control sticks, the analog sticks just fine, but then you can fine tune it with the gyro. Like you're just tilting the controller just a tiny bit to move the cursor for that like last 10%, so it's more precise. Feels so nice. One thing I can share about Insect Glaive, it's kind of a funny thing I noticed in the beta, is that obviously this is an early game weapon setup. It's not like some super strong Insect Glaive or strong armor set. And so you have a pretty slow Kinsect. Your bug that you send out is pretty slow. And because you can move around the map pretty quickly when you're on your mount, your secret, something you can do, and I did this by accident a couple times in the beta, is you can send out your bug to like get an extract, and then like the monster leaves, so your bug is still out. And if you hop on the secret and run away, the bug can't catch up. You just leave the Kinsect behind in the dust. And I tested it. It actually does just slowly meander its way to wherever you've gone on the map. At least as far as I got away, it didn't like warp to me or teleport to me, which I thought was really funny. Poor little Kinsect getting stuck left in the last area. At one point, I don't think in this footage, but in one of the other hunts I did, I got tackled by one of those big insects I just killed, those ones on the ground that you can carve there. They like full body tackle you. It's like kind of this, I would guess it's this game's version of like a Vespoid stun, is instead of getting stunned, the bug just freaking tackles you instead and like pins you to the ground. It was kind of scary and startling. Yeah, not a super fast hunt, but that's okay. I was honestly just enjoying trying things out, seeing how the pack hunt felt, and seeing how Gypceros felt. It's always fun to see a returning monster. And I would say he's a pretty good one. Like I said, he wasn't ever a super duper challenging monster, so I think the degree to which they made him challenging and more updated and fast here feels pretty fitting. I think we'll finish him off pretty soon here. Oh yeah, I meant to mention, I actually haven't fought Arkveld, the flagship, yet. The flagship is available in the second beta test, but I haven't done that yet. I may do that this coming weekend, in the second beta test weekend, or I may just wait for the full game. I haven't 100% decided yet. I'm excited about that because I figure that the flagship monster of any game is usually a pretty decent representation of at least some of the aspects of combat they're looking to emphasize. Like, they're going to put some sorts of mechanics or types of moves in a flagship fight. That's a big part of what they want the game to feel like or emphasize, and so I'm curious to see, okay, based on Arkveld's fight, what do I think they're trying to emphasize in this game's combat? It'll be interesting to see. Friends of mine have said they think I will like it, so looking forward to it. I'm also especially looking forward to seeing in the full game what it feels like to go out expeditioning and camping and gathering little fresh ingredients to cook with. Like, if I can have a little gameplay mode where I just go out and hunt things and gather mushrooms and herbs that I can use to make tasty meals and have those meals be like specially animated, and like that's a thing I can go out and do, I think I'll probably dig that quite a bit. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. That's one of the things I'm like most excited about is what does this open world really feel like to go out and be a part of as a hunter. I've seen a little bit of it in the beta, but not that much so far. Yeah, we'll be wrapping up here shortly. Basically, I have dead air until then, so I'm trying to fill it. I do these post commentaries so infrequently that I'm definitely not used to them. I did one for Ray Dow in the first beta, and I like was running out of time and had to talk really quickly. I probably talked kind of fast at the beginning of this one too, but I don't know. I'm just not used to doing these post commentaries. It's probably sort of a learned skill, filling up the right amount of time with sort of a set list of topics you want to talk about ahead of time. I'm not used to it yet. Scripting, if that is the right verb for it. Fighting him in this nest area with multiple Gypceros running around and all trying to attack you with their tails was pretty wild. This felt like quite the experience. Not a bad experience. This doesn't frustrate me like it might frustrate other people. So we'll see. I'm down for more pack hunts when the full game comes out. And there's the finish. You can tell he's really dead because it plays the quest clear theme. Just so you know. All right. Boom goes the dung. And I'll see you guys pretty soon for some more Monster Hunter, either GU or Wilds if I end up recording some more of it before it comes out. Like I said, I hope you guys enjoy the new beginning to 6th generation. New generation only comes about once every couple years, and even if you come and end up preferring some things from the old games, probably still worth experiencing and enjoying this time. It's a pretty freaking cool time to be a Monster Hunter fan. I'll see you guys soon. Bye-bye, folks, and cheers.